Is it really possible to build an aesthetic body while training less? This is the question I asked myself 2 years ago, over a decade into my fitness journey. And since then, I've managed to build more muscle and strength than I ever thought was possible, working out just a fraction of the time most people spend in the gym. This gave me more time and energy to spend in things that I enjoy, like making videos, reading books to improve my life, meal prep, spending quality time with my partner, trying new recipes, and all of this while working full time. And it's honestly changed my life. So in this video, I want to share with you 7 key minimalist training principles for building an aesthetic body while training less that you can apply even if you're just starting out. But first, what is minimalist training? It's a style of training that focuses on 2 main ideas: less is more and quality over quantity. Rather than working out for hours a day and trying to maximize your results in the short term and risk burning yourself out. Instead, you can work out for say 10, 15, 30 minutes a day and still make gains. And a lot of people will say, no, it's not possible. But as with anything, it's not about what you do, it's how you do it. Which brings me to the first principle. When I first started minimalist training, I went from training 60 to 90 minutes a day, 5 to 6 times a week, down to 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week. Because since working full time and getting into a relationship and now married, I just didn't want to feel super tired all the time. Nor did I want to be spending a big portion of my spare time in the gym. In other words, I knew what I wanted. But if you're just starting out and you don't know what you want, your goal could be as simple as working out 2 to 3 times a week, with the goal to improve 1% each week. Like lift a slightly heavier weight or 1 more rep than last time. With minimalist training, the upside is your workouts are now shorter, so you have greater flexibility with when to work out. But the downside is that it doesn't make it that much easier to actually get your workout in. For me, I find that training first thing in the morning for 10 to 15 minutes a day, every day, works best because it gets the blood flowing and it sets me up for my entire day. It's also when I have the most energy to push heavy weights, and it's also at a time when I'm most likely to get it done as opposed to after work. For you, it might be different. So start thinking about your strategy by answering these 3 simple questions. How long do you want to work out for each day? How often do you want to work out each week? What days and times do you want to work out? Keep in mind this is just a simple way to figure out your plan of attack, not a way to guarantee your results. And that's where this next one comes into play. For a good decade, consistency meant having to work out on the same days every week. For example, if I worked out on Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, then every week needed to be Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. And if I didn't, then I'd feel extremely guilty and beat myself up about it. Like if I skipped a couple days, I needed to make sure that I still get 3 days in this week. This f***ed me up because over the past 10 years, I was constantly burning out. And it was only 2 years ago when I started minimalist training that I then opened my mind up to being able to work out on what I call a when you can basis. I stopped looking at my schedule as 7-day blocks, but instead a series of free-flowing days. This completely transformed not only my body, but also my life. And since then, I burnt out 0 times. Although I have been close to burning out, and later I'll tell you how I deal with that. And so you'll want to work out in a way that's actually sustainable, a way where you can work out for the next 2 decades, if not your entire life, and continue making gains. And you can do this by adopting what I call imperfect consistency. If not today, then tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then the next day. But now that you have a better idea of how to stay consistent without burning out, let's dive into some minimalist training hacks for maximizing your results in less time. Myo reps, drop sets, supersets. These 3 things completely changed the game when I first started minimalist training. And little did I know that there's this window of time where every rep becomes highly effective. For example, myo reps. After your last set of say bicep curls, you rest for about 4 seconds and then do as many reps as you can. Even if it's just 1 rep, that 1 rep will become more effective than any 1 rep during your regular sets. Let's call this 1 mini set. You then want to repeat this for at least 3 mini sets. And this is something I highly suggest you include in your workouts, because you can expect to make more gains without really adding more time to your workouts. Or better yet, you can replace a regular set with myo reps. Say you were doing 3 sets of bicep curls. It would then become 2 sets plus myo reps. I talk more about these hacks or techniques in one of my last videos. So now we have 3 highly effective training tools. However, without this next one, it's almost impossible to make consistent gains, stay motivated, and achieve long-term growth. When I first started bench pressing, I kept doing the same way. I saw some results, or maybe it was just the pump. But with minimalist training, you're doing a much lower volume, aka a lower number of sets and reps. And so every single rep counts. But this one thing catapulted my results. Not only did it boost my confidence, but it also made me more motivated and excited to want to keep improving. This one thing allowed me to see the progress, whether physically or in the form of numbers. And so I encourage you to start writing down what you do during your workouts, weights, sets, and reps. Track, improve, fail, learn, lift, and repeat. But to build an aesthetic body is more than just muscles in the mirror. In other words, it's only just one side of the coin. Building an aesthetic body makes you more attractive. But if you only work on what you can see, like your muscles, your hair, what you wear, and you ignore what you can't see, your heart, lungs, and brain, then it's only a matter of time until the truth comes out. It's like if you were to ignore that weird rumbling sound in your car, one day you're gonna pay the price. And just like in life, ignoring the need to work on your overall health or any signs of bad health, you'll then end up spending more time fixing problems than actually living your life. And with adopting minimalist training, you get more time back into your life. So it pays to use some of that spare time to educate yourself on health and nutrition, and then apply that knowledge. It might mean finding better alternatives for foods that you eat, social media pages that actually educate you on better health and nutrition. Keep in mind the learning never stops, but here's a few things that I've learned over the past decade that I think everyone should know. As a general rule, eat foods that are lower in calories but higher in nutrition. These are typically foods that are grown in the ground, that make you feel good, and they also give you longer lasting energy throughout the day, not like the instant energy you get from coffee and then crash soon after. And it also allows you to eat more while staying leaner and without restricting yourself to smaller portions that then causes most of us to binge. As for protein, you want to make sure you're getting at least the bare minimum for a healthy, functioning body, which is 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight or 0.36 grams per pound per day. So to better optimize your body health and mind, build from the inside out. But understand that this doesn't guarantee that you're never going to run into problems, which leads me to the next point. Even with minimalist training, there's going to be times when you're on the verge of burnout, and that's perfectly normal because you're never just working out. And your engine can only stay running for so long. So what happens when you ignore signs of burnout? It's going to get worse and lead to something more serious, right? One thing I found helpful in the last few months is a product called Whoop. It's basically like having a personal coach on your wrist. One great feature is that it gives me a daily indication as to whether I should be resting or pushing myself to be more active, or even how hard I should be working out. But also I've gone over 10 years without using such a device, and so it's not exactly a must, but it definitely takes the guesswork out of trying to balance work, leisure, and rest. And so whatever problem you find yourself dealing with, whether it's a tight muscle, or you feel overworked or exhausted, don't make the mistake of just fixing the symptom. Instead, try to find the source of the problem and attack that, because you can't fix a leaky tap by mopping the floor. So if you feel something's off despite a good night's rest, try having a more restorative day. Sooner or later, you'll find your balance. Oh, this last one's by far the most important, and I'm not just saying that. If I said invest in yourself, what comes to mind? Perhaps allocating time, effort, or money towards personal growth, development, and well-being. You see, for most guys, a 30-minute workout is not just 30 minutes. Think about the time it takes for you to get to the gym, wait for a bench, catch up with that guy you don't even like, not to mention having to put up with that guy who consistently hogs the cables. All up, a 30-minute workout then becomes 60 minutes. Here's the thing. Let's say you work out for 30 minutes a day, 4 times a week, but really you're spending 60 minutes a workout. This then becomes 4 hours a week. In a year, that's over 200 hours. In a decade, that's 2,000 hours. But what if you could halve that? How would that change your life? What I'm trying to say is there's a simple solution that costs only a couple $100 to $1,000, which on average really equates to about a week's wage. And a lot of people will say, I just don't have the money. But remember, time is finite and money can't buy time. So a simple solution like investing in just the barbell and weights, or 2 adjustable dumbbells, a few rubber mats, and a foldable bench. This could not only completely transform your body, but also your life. So I highly suggest you consider ways to invest in yourself and protect your time. So these are the 7 key minimalist training principles that have helped me build an aesthetic body while training less. And hopefully you found value in at least one of these. If you did, and you want to stay up to date with my content and future updates, links below. Bye.
Testing. Hello.